We all know him. He wears many hats. Leader, commander, husband, father, friend, and man.
This is Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
So, Your Excellency, it is a pleasure and a privilege to be with you at last.
Madam Adesuwa, it's an honor.
You know why? Because I first heard Sanwo-Olu, then I heard Jide Sanwo-Olu, then I heard Babajide Sanwo-Olu, then I heard Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. So I'm like, is this so people will know that I have many more names? Typical Yoruba people have many names.
There's another one I can actually give you.
What is it?
So it's Babajide Olushola Aduragbemi Sanwo-Olu. So I'll rather just stop at that. But you know how it is. Growing up, your father will give you one, your mother will give you one. If you have a grandmother, she will give you one. If you have a grandfather, they will give you. The sister that thought that she was taking care of your mom before they gave birth, she will give you one. And so you end up having 17 names and you're wondering what's going on. And so that's why sometimes in some families, you see repetition. They ran out of names actually at some point in time, So my cousins, we had cousins that usually bear the same name. Jide Sanwo-Olu, Jide Badmus. Sheyi Sanwo-Olu, Sheyi Badmus. Tope Sanwo-Olu, Tope Badmus. What's wrong to our parents? They ran out of names. Yes, because they've given us 17.
Have you done it differently in your own case?
I think, with the reality of the space, and knowing fully well that jam form doesn't give you a lot of spaces. So keep it to one or two, right? It's a lot easier for you, and your kids don't really ask you, too many questions. What exactly does this mean? When you don't even know the full explanation of it. So I'm sure we'll just keep it to 2, 3 these days.
The reason I went that way is that was our first time of meeting you. Really.
Absolutely.
It was like, okay, on the campaign trail.
Yes.
And then some people were rooting, some were not.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's
But
very
more
normal.
Lagosians wanted you on the seat.
Thank
Obviously,
you.
that's why you're here today.
Yeah.
And then thereafter, we started to hear things like, Jide is always pointing fingers. Is he working? The next thing we hear, you're working, you roll out a lot of plans, and then people are like, does he really care for us? So that's why the reason I came, I said I must have lunch with you, or breakfast.
We'll have brunch. It's midway.
So I'm glad that you accepted this.
Yes.
So I wanted Lagosians, are they right to wonder if you really care for them?
But to answer your question, very, very truthfully, right? You cannot get a better caring person than myself.
So you are for them?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I'm a people's person. That's all I've done, right? That is because I believe I share empathy of people. I share the pain, of people. And I know that the only reason why you're in government really is just to make life better for your very next guy. The vulnerable, the people really that don't have a voice, right? Just that's what God wants us to do. Just makes this place a lot better, happier for a whole lot of people that you meet, that you have engagement with, and really that's what governance should really be.
Clearly, which is what the essence of my coming here to talk with you is. People will always believe what they want to believe. Because whether you like it or not, there are certainly a lot of positive things happening in Lagos.
Yeah.
I can personally attest to that. But the truth is, we see you trying to do something about traffic congestion in Lagos.
Yeah.
What are the challenges you are having to succeed in that area?
Well, I mean, so it's a process, right? And so if you have a city that has the largest population, the largest black population on the earth, if you have a city where about 5 million people move from one part of the city to another part of the city on a daily basis, about 5 million people move from one part to, what the parts are, right? Then you need to be very strategic. You need to think through what are the various models of movement that you can have and what should be your plan. Lagos would say to ourselves in our plan that we want to have what we call an integrated mass transit system. An integrated meaning we must use all of the transportation architecture that is available. Rail, water, and road, right? We're doing fairly well on road because that's the only one that is apparent. But we're pushing the conversations around rail and water transportation.
How far is that conversation?
Okay, so for the rail, we've given a commitment that by the end of next year, 2021, right, we should have a first rail movement. 2021, yes. The infrastructure coming to State House Marina, you saw all the bridges. We've finished the water crossing on the Lagos Lagoon. We're going back towards Mile 2 to ensure that we'll complete our blue line, right, which will be the very first one. The red line will be from Ebute Metta towards Yaba, Oyingbo, right, Mushin, going towards Agege. That's the red line. 2 of them, before the end of this administration, were believing that we can deliver the 2 to Lagosians, right? And we have 6 other ones that are on expression of interest level. We've gotten a lot of international operators who want to also come and help us build that. That's on the rail side. On the waterway side, because 1/3 of Lagos is actually waterways. Adesuwa, I'm sure you don't know that. 1/3. You see big bodies of water.
I see it, at least.
Yes. 1/3 in terms of the landmass is water. So what we've done is we've put our money where our mouth is. Make a lead. A lot of people say they want to do water transportation, but they're not making investment. The state government has made investment. It's the first government that has made those investments. We bought 14 ferries, 80 passenger, 60 passenger, 50 passenger, 40 passenger, and we've launched them. And they've started commuting passengers from Ebuteru to Ikorodu, Ipakodo, from Badore to Ijede in Ikorodu, from Liverpool in Coconut Apapa to CMS.
So you're not waiting for investors anymore.
Well, they will catch us. They will catch up with us. They will catch up with us. We cannot. And the commitment I also gave is that number, I intend to double that fleet by the end of this year. Double that fleet.
What kind of feedback are you getting on how that fleet is going?
It's tremendous. It's unimaginable. The traffic we're seeing, people are getting a lot more committed. People are actually happy because there's no traffic on waterways. It's just safety. So all we just need to be sure is that they all wear their life jackets, and our captains, our ferry captains, keep with the speed limits on water. Water also has speed limit. And part of the things we're meant to do is have directional balls on water so that they will have, an easy, well, they probably will not, but just so know the easy channel to pass, especially when you are going through big, massive body of water, just so that they can carry passengers from here to there very quickly.
Why is the Lagos state traffic such a difficult thing to manage? People compare Lagos to New York, but New York, it flows.
Does it?
It moves.
Well, so in New York, it's also the same thing. New York is usually integrated. New York have double the population is under the ground. You know the subway.
Yes.
Double the population is under the ground.
Can never happen in Nigeria, in Lagos?
Well, because of our water table level, we've actually missed out to go underground. Because Lagos is actually below the sea level. It's like Amsterdam. So by the time you take 1 meter, you're in water. So we cannot go underground. We cannot have a full subway underground. So we have to be elevated. Let me give you some other statistics. Lagos occupies less than 0.4%.
You love statistics, yeah?
No, that's the only way. Numbers don't lie. They are figures. They are mathematics. We're less than 0.38% of the size of this country. Less than.
And it populates.
Less than. And we're over 10% of the population. Out of that 0.38%, 1/3 of that is water. So in a very tiny little dots, we have this huge population, right? So we have environmental issues, you have traffic issues, you have all sort of movements of people that you need to deal with. And so all of these things, these are some of the thinking through we had to do at the background. You can see all sort of routes we're fixing just so that we improve the turnaround time.
Do you think Lagosians are impatient?
Well, it's because it's...
And Lagosians now, I mean everybody who lives here. It's not just indigenous of Lagos State. I mean, Lagosian, no?
I understand. Because the city in itself is very dynamic. It's very cosmopolitan. Like asking New Yorkers, are they impatient? Everybody needs to walk briskly, because it's competitive. Everything is competitive. So it's not about being impatient. It's about the dynamism of the city. And people must continue to reflect and know that it's a city that has to continue to work.
Okay, so what is my role in all of this? Well, that's me as a media figure. What about the role of the ordinary person who's watching and looking and saying, because we tend to distance ourselves from governance.
Okay, so it works 2 ways.
Yes.
It works. It's a chicken and egg. You want to eat an omelette, you have to break the egg. That's the way it is. So for government to also do well, it also needs support both from the private sector, both from the citizens, everybody around, right down the value chain. From the person that is meant to pay his taxes, from the person that is meant to pay his land use charge, and from the children that need to go to school, from the doctors that need to understand that they need to render service, right? And from the market woman that needs to also know that she needs to clean up our environment when she finishes. So everybody has a role to play, right? It's at the end of the day when everybody plays that role that governance becomes a lot easier. Just do your own bit and let us do the bigger ones.
Okay, it looks like I could stay here for 1 or 2 hours. I remain the fly, but there's something I noticed though, which I've seen not only in pictures, but what happens. You and your deputy seem like brothers. Oh. It's like you're always working. We have 2 governors for the price of 1.
Well, but that's really what it is. Femi and I, first, we've been very good friends. We've been friends for almost 20 years, which it's something that is priceless. You know, and we usually have tough conversations. You know, we said to ourselves that, you know, if we don't get this right, we'll lose two things. We'll lose friendship and we'll lose leadership. Right? And we said, we certainly cannot. And you said it's price of 2 for 1. So things that I cannot deal with, he goes, deal with it. It's gone to a NEC meeting, it's gone to every type of meeting that I could go to. He goes in there and he's capable, he's competent, and I'm happy that he's giving me the support that I require, you know, at this point in time.
That brings to question the idea of partnerships when it comes to leadership. Partnerships are between those who are directly with you and those who are out there. You know, I'm just wondering what kind of requirements of partnership.
Well, I mean, thank you very much, Adesuwa. And you know, this is the crux of it. We certainly cannot do it all. So in truth, we need to identify and grow real partnership. You know, partnership can be both local and foreign. Partnership can also be both internal and external. We're forming partnership internally with our civil servants, with all of our government agencies to understand and appreciate what we are planning to do. So once we own it, they also must own it. So it's not one governor is like having 100,000 governors. Everybody on his own desk see himself as a partner in all of these conversations. So he knows he needs to deliver on that. So we've got 100,000 governors. Good for us. But external partnership will be how we engaging civil societies, the media, you know, the multilateral agencies, the bilateral agencies. What kind of support can they bring on board? And I say to you that we're open, we're ready for them, you know, because it's only when we have those kind of collaboration that we can touch a lot more people quicker and faster.
I'm not sure if it's okay to say final, but I must say final, because you have to convince me that you care for me, you care for Lagosians. And how do I go back and tell them, this guy cares for you?
You know what, Adesuwa? In my waking moments every day, all that comes to me is the safety of Lagosians. I mean, that's top priority for me. Not only their safety, their productivity, how do they commune from one place to another? How well do I make sure that this place, the ease of doing business, is of greater concern? Security is critical for me. And these are the things that I think about every day. And you know the truth? We will not stop at anything to realize this. Nothing will derail us from achieving this for all Lagosians.
That's a promise.
It's a promise, God helping us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Governor.
Governor after the heart of women.
The personal hero.
Dearest brother.
Passion and courage.
My dear Governor.
Your Excellency.
Executive Governor.
Your Excellency.
Your Excellency.
My Aburo, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. It is my great honor and privilege to join everyone in Lagos State and Nigeria and the world to wish you a very happy 55th birthday. You've done an incredible job. We are very proud of you as Governor of Lagos. Your response to the coronavirus pandemic has been exemplary. I congratulate you on this special day and I wish you long life, in good health, happiness and prosperity.
These are very unprecedented times and nobody could have been as prepared as you are for this, just by the special grace of God. Please keep doing the great things you're doing out here in Lagos. God bless you.
There's never been a time in history that we have witnessed anything like that we have in the last few months. Thank you for being a true leader, for being a real champion, for keeping us safe, and for all the incredible things that you continue to do in every single sector of our economy.
Happy birthday, my brother.